ለመማር ወደ ትምህርት ተቋም መሄድ ግድ አይደለም። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
ራሳችሁን ከኮሮና ቫይረስ ወረርሽኝ እየጠበቃችሁ በቤታችሁ ወይም በተመቻችሁ ቦታ በኢንተርኔት አማካኝነት በኦንላይን ትምህርታችሁን መከታተል ትችላላችሁ።
ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ኢንስቲትዩት ኦፍ ኮመርሻል ማኔጅመንት ICM ጋር በመተባበር የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶችን ተከታትላችሁ በ6 ወር ጊዜ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ተቀባይነት ያለውን የስልጠና ማስረጃ ባለቤት መሆን ይቻላል።
ልምድ ባላቸው መምህራን እየተማራችሁ ጥያቄና መልስ የክፍል ስራዎች ፈተና መፈተን ክፍል ውስጥ እንዳላችሁት አይነት በኦንላይን ባላችሁበት ቦታ ከናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ
You can visualize what a runway looks like, and then you say you put the traffic pattern there. Downwind, any runway has downwind, base leg, and final. Based on that, it says number 1 here on section 146, requests for instructions to join the traffic circuit or pattern should be made in sufficient time to allow for planned entry into the circuit, taking other traffic into account. Meaning, supposing there is a training aircraft around Akaki, or some other aircraft are coming from Ambo or Walaga or from anywhere in Ethiopia, would like to land at Bole. These aircraft are required to contact Bole Tower in sufficient time to allow for planned entry into traffic circuit, taking other traffic into account. This aircraft, any aircraft trying to land at Bole, joining the traffic pattern or circuit, should contact Bole Tower in sufficient time so that Bole Tower will arrange everything. You will not have a delay, because there would be, of course, there could be, usually there are traffic around Bole Airport. It's eminent, it's understood that there are many aircraft around Bole. So in order to avoid those traffic, you should contact Bole Tower in sufficient time to arrange for your arrival. The first part of the traffic pattern, the aircraft is provided with is the downwind. Downwind in a sense means with the wind. Roughly, that's what it exactly tells you in the dictionary. It's with the wind. Upwind is against the wind. So downwind, let's forget upwind and let's come to downwind now. Downwind, we'll join downwind. We had one picture, let me go back. If I find one that's done. Yeah, there it is. You see downwind there? Now block the rest of the picture with your right hand. the 45-degree entry, 45 straight out departure, all those things. Crosswind, upwind. Just block that picture with your right hand and you will see clear picture of the downwind, base leg, and final. So the first thing the aircraft does is join downwind. The tower naturally tells him to call on base leg because there are so many aircrafts joining the traffic pattern. You report base leg. You will advise him to report final. On final, of course, usually aircraft lands. Will be provided with QNH and wind, surface wind. An aircraft usually lands against the wind. Now, when the aircraft was joining downwind, it was with the wind. When it lands, it's against the wind, naturally. Most of the time, take it for granted, 95% of the time, an aircraft lands or takes off against the wind because of good performance. Headwind is always good on ground. The takeoff is short. It will take short runway during landing and during takeoff. Headwind. Wind against the landing aircraft, wind against the takeoff aircraft is good. Tailwind is very bad. That is on ground. This is entirely different when it is in the air. It is the opposite. Once the aircraft takes off, climbs, reaches top of climb, needs tailwind. Because that increases the speed of the aircraft. Headwind will decrease the speed of the aircraft, will retard the speed of the aircraft. Okay. Number one, we have already dealt with. Number two, when the traffic circuit is in a right-hand pattern, this should be specified. In aircraft operation, in flight operations, within the traffic circuit or pattern, there is a left-hand approach and a right-hand approach. Left-hand approach is when the runway is to your left, naturally. Right-hand approach is when the runway is to your right. እስቲ ሳሉን ናዩት እዛው ጀስት ሳሉን ናዩት በወረቀት ላይ አፕሮች ስታደርጉ ትራፊክ ፓተርኑ ሌፍት ከሆነ ሌፍት ነው በሌፍት በኩል ነው የምትገቡት በራይት በኩል ከገባችሁ ራይት ነው የሚሆነው ራይት ትራፊክ ፓተርን አሁን ራይት እና ሌፍት ስላለ ዩዥዋሊ ራይት ፓተርን ምን እንደሚሆን ሊነግር ነው unless you understand about left and right traffic pattern, then you cannot go on. So the second one, I repeat, when the traffic circuit is in a right-hand pattern, this should be specified. The control tower, when it authorized you to join the traffic pattern in the beginning, it should be left-hand pattern. That is the normal one. But due to traffic, or due to the wind, or due to any other thing, the pattern is a right-hand pattern, then the tower is forced to advise you, because the aircraft usually assumes the pattern is a left-hand pattern. When the traffic circuit is in a right-hand pattern, this should be specified. It has to be told to the aircraft. A left-hand pattern need not be specified. It's normal because it's understood. When the tower tells you to join the traffic pattern, it means, no doubt, it's a left-hand pattern. A left-hand pattern need not be specified, although it may be advisable to do so if there has been a recent change where the circuit is when the circuit direction is variable. Okay, supposing people, other aircraft were exercising right-hand pattern before you land, or before you join the traffic pattern, but you hear them on the same frequency. You have already heard them. Sorry. If it so happens, it's advisable for the tower to tell whichever aircraft requests to join the traffic pattern that the traffic pattern has now come to a normal one and it has become a left-hand pattern. Because people were listening on that frequency which the tower is transmitting on, that other aircraft were exercising right-hand pattern temporarily because of different situations, different reasons. Now the tower is back to, now the circuit is back to the normal one, left-hand circuit. Okay, thank you very much. Section 147, operating in the traffic pattern. To make touch and go exercises in traffic pattern, approval from the control tower must be obtained, and the traffic situation should be convenient. Touch and go means an aircraft usually joins the downwind, we have already discussed, comes to base leg and final, and requests touch and go. This has to be approved by the control tower. Touch and go means an aircraft comes to land, touches the runway, but never makes full stop landing, and then takes off. It touches the runway and then takes off. Touches the runway and then takes off. That is touch and go. It will explain, I think somewhere it was trying to explain something about touch and go. Maybe it's here or... Okay, anyway, full stop landing, full stop, which is the opposite of touch and go. Full stop landing is the one which makes a full stop. Comes on final, lands where it remains, full stop. and then continuous taxi to the terminal. But a touch and go, whatever type of aircraft does not matter. Light aircraft or big aircraft, or it could be on training, does not matter. Make touch and go means does not make full stop landing. يعرفنا ينسى وداو يعرفنا ينسى. So the exercise remember, it's making a training how to make a landing and how to make a takeoff. It's exercising. Example, pilot, Bole ground, Hotel Alpha, 2 persons on board, endurance 3 hours, training area in the traffic pattern, request taxi for takeoff. Tower. Hotel Alpha, Bole ground, taxi to holding point, runway 7 right, via taxiway Bravo 25 right, Alpha, wind 110, 10 knots, QNH 1023. Okay. Pilot, taxi to holding point, runway 07. I was expecting that it was explaining a touch and go, but it's not. This is taxi, but the title says operating in the traffic pattern to make touch and go exercises in the traffic pattern. My God. Okay. Anyway, we have seen the example for taxi clearance. It does not go with the title operating in the traffic pattern. Maybe next it's coming. While operating in the traffic circuit, the pilot shall report joining every leg of the traffic circuit. Rosie,
Yes, teacher.
what does it mean? Number one, while operating in the traffic.
The pilot shall report when it's joined to the traffic circuit, I think. When it's joined on the traffic circuit, he have to report to the controller.
Every leg, it says. Read properly.
Okay, yeah, every leg of the traffic circuit.
What does this mean?
Every step, I think.
No. Okay, Nadir.
Yes, teacher. So I think like he must report if like on the circuit minutes on the landing runway in the same direction as landing traffic. Maybe upwind the leg or downwind the leg or left or right like that up to the runway. He's doing like
You started something, but you didn't finish.
The
Don't-
downwind, the base, and the final. Every step, I think.
Yes, that is the leg. That is the leg of the traffic circuit.
Yeah.
Downwind leg, bend leg, final, finished. That is every leg of the traffic circuit. Example, Hotel Alpha joining left hand downwind runway 07 right. Controller. Hotel report left base runway 07 right. Pilot, Hotel Alpha, Roger. Hotel Alpha left base runway 07. Report final. Wilco, Roger, I will do. Hotel Alpha. That's all. When final, just land. Okay, when an aircraft is reporting final, whether to make touch and go or full stop landing should be clearly specified. Somebody is coming in. Somebody is joining us. Okay, when an aircraft is reporting final, whether to make touch and go or full stop landing should be clearly specified. An aircraft has already requested to join the traffic pattern, already authorized. Now it's final, but it has to tell to the control tower whether it is making a touch and go or a full stop landing. Because there are other traffic around, many aircraft around, waiting. Some of them to make touch and go, some of them landing, some of them taking off. It's a very busy airport. So any pilot, preferably when joining the traffic pattern, advise the control tower it's a touch and go or full stop landing. Example, Hotel Alpha, final 07 right, touch and go. Hotel Alpha, wind calm, that means there is no wind. Wind calm, clear touch and go, runway 07 right. Pilot, clear touch and go, runway 07 right. Hotel Alpha, that's the name of the aircraft. It's acknowledging with the name. As I told you, there are two runways in Bole Airport, at Bole Airport, sorry. There are two runways at Bole Airport, left and right. We used to have only one runway previously, but after so many years, I am a living witness. We built another new runway with a good facility. So to differentiate between the two runways, you have to call one of the runways left, the other right. That's why it's indicating 07 right, 07 left, 25 left, 25 right, 25 right. When we start class session with the help of God, I will show you how they construct a runway, why they choose, how they choose, how you call a runway 07 right, 07 left, 25 right, 25 left. It's very, very, very easy. When I explain, it's very, very easy. Don't worry. First, we take a training in the class on Blackboard, on the Blackboard, of course. And then we go to Bole itself and see it there physically. It is marked 07 right, 07 left. From the sky, from 20,000 feet, you can see the runway. The writing is a big marking. Okay, any question, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, yeah, only a lady anyway. So,
No.
okay. Anybody? Nadir, you have a question, I think.
No.
Okay.
But
Yes, I have heard your voice.
yes, you said touch and go, yeah, teacher.
Yeah.
It is happens when the aircraft is landing before it makes its full landing, yeah.
Yeah. Full landing is full stop.
It's full stop. So
The
before that,
opposite is touch and go.
yeah, touch and go. So
Yes.
there is a landing gear. Sometimes the front and the back landing gears, the tires. I mean, yeah.
Without gear, everything cannot be done. Without gear, an aircraft cannot come for landing.
Yeah, I know, teacher. But is it must that the airline, when making landing, to use the back tires, the back landing gears first? Yeah, isn't it?
What is back landing gear?
The tires of the aircraft. One of them is up front, and the other is back.
They make a normal landing like they make a normal landing like they do with passengers on board.
Okay.
Normal landing. Whether they have passengers on board or not, this touch and go or full stop landing is a normal landing. If the aircraft has 3 gears, it will make with the 3 gears. If it has 2 gears, with 2 gears. If it has 4, with 4. Normal. Nothing changed. I didn't understand your question.
No, I understood it now.
Yeah.
Really. I got the concept.
Yeah. By the way, there is a difference between gear and tire. Tire is that plastic.
Yes.
Outer. The gear is the inside one. Right? Gear is a big structure.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So about runway, take it from me. I promise I will do my best to explain it to you properly. Maybe after a week or 10 days, we might try our class and see each other face to face, which is the most preferable. This online training is not good. Anyway, we don't have any other alternative. We have to do it this way. Okay, there we go. Operating in traffic, in the traffic pattern. Example, pilot. Hotel Alpha Final 07, full stop. So it's not making touch and go. Controller, Hotel Alpha, wind 0708 knots, clear to land 07 right. Pilot, clear to land 07 right. Hotel Alpha. You always read back. Any kind of clearance, read back. Don't be fed up of it, read back. This is the procedure. Actually, this is the communication between the pilot and the controller. It has nothing to do with the dispatcher. But the dispatcher has to know everything what a controller does and what the pilot does. The dispatcher has to know. The dispatcher is on top of them. He has a better, she has a better qualification. It's a must. Operational area communication. Operations normal reporting. Okay. Example, pilot. Bole, Papa Delta, west of the lake, maintaining 10,000 feet. Papa Delta, Bole, report operations normal every 30 minutes. Papa Delta will come. Okay. Any aircraft on training around the airport, near the airport, or within a short distance from the airport, has to report operations normal every 30 minutes. Is that clear?
Yes.
Rosina?
Yes, teacher, it's clear.
It's clear. Has to report operations normal. Not only training aircraft, but also normal passenger aircraft, charter aircraft. They have to report either at position report, like I told you, when an aircraft goes from Addis to Asmara, they report over Dese, they report over Makale, they report also landing Asmara. But if there are no reporting points established along the route you are flying through, then you have to report operations normal every 30 minutes. Bole Tower. This is Papa Delta. Operations normal. How about if aircraft does not report operations normal after 30 minutes? The tower keeps on calling Papa Delta after 30 minutes. The tower also tries to tell another aircraft in the vicinity of this training aircraft to call Papa Delta to help the control tower. If those aircraft cannot also make it, then there is uncertainty phase. Uncertainty phase. There are three phases: uncertainty phase, urgency phase, and distress phase. The one we already discussed before. For now, it's every 30 minutes. So there is uncertainty phase. The control tower has to go with the normal procedure of communication. Breakdown has taken place and has to do something. The tower knows what to do. There is a checklist for the control tower what to do. Operational area communication, reporting operations normal. Example, Bole Hotel Alpha, west of the lake, 10,000 feet, operations normal. Hotel Alpha, Bole, report another operations normal. Of course, after 1 hour, it means 30 minutes, yes, has already reported operations normal. So after another 30 minutes, additional 30 minutes, which makes an hour, make another report. Hotel Alpha will come, will do accordingly, according to your instruction. So, Yared, you have come now? Okay, he is not there. Nadir, any question?
No, teacher, it's clear.
It's clear. Menelik? Or,
No, teacher.
okay. Requesting landing. What? To return back from the ምንድን who can correct this grammar mistake? ምኒልክ do you read me ምኒልክ? Okay. Nadir,
Yes, teacher.
what is the grammar mistake? Return back. To return back, it says, I see here.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, what is there any mistake to return back?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
What is it?
Maybe we don't need the back, the word back. We
What?
can use to return from the operational area.
Yeah, we don't need another back.
Yes.
That's correct. Because return means come back itself.
Yes.
So if you read return, if you return back from, that's not English. So if you return from the operational area, no back, cancel it. Please cross out back. To return from the operational area, a pilot shall request permission from the control tower. Now it's clear. But most students would like to say to return back because they are accustomed to it, you know. That's a very bad grammar mistake. To return from the operational area, a pilot shall request permission from the control tower. Meaning, there was a training aircraft in Lake Akaki training. If the flight wants to return to Bole, it has to request the control tower first. I am returning to Bole. Request permission. That's what it says. Example, Bole Tower, Papa Delta. What is that? WL. Maybe that's the area they are training. West Lake or something, 10,000 feet, request landing instruction. That's the position of the training area. Does not worry you. The controller says, Papa Delta Bole, runway news 07 right, wind 07010 knots. The QNH 1026, descend traffic pattern altitude, report right base. You see, now the traffic pattern is changing to the right instead of the left. So the tower has to tell. It didn't say joint traffic pattern. It says right base. You see, report right base. Descend traffic pattern. That means within the traffic pattern you can descend. That's what it says. It's all right, no problem. Report right base. It didn't say base lake. It didn't say report base. It says right base because it has changed maybe due to wind or due to traffic, or due to something else. Pilot 07 right, 1026. The KNH, of course, will report right base, Papa Delta. Any confusion here? Rosina?
No, teacher, it's clear.
Okay, it's clear.
Teacher, I think the right base, it is like the one we have seen now, the traffic circuit, right base, the right base.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the one we have seen now, and it can be upward, downward. Yeah,
Huh?
I mean, I want to know the right base.
I didn't understand your question. So
Okay.
say it again. Say it again.
No, just clarify for me the right base.
Okay, you are not here, I think.
No, I'm here.
Okay, it's all right. Normally, you know traffic pattern. That's downwind, base leg,
Yes.
and final.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when the tower tells you to join downwind, that means it's left pattern. Left.
Yes.
You see the runway to your left as an aircraft. Now, this case, you see the runway to your right. And the tower has to tell you the pattern is right pattern, right traffic pattern. We have already discussed.
Yes.
It has to be told somewhere. It says it has to be. While operating in the traffic circle, the pilot shall report joining every. Request for instruction to join the traffic circuit. When the traffic circuit is in right-hand pattern, you see that?
Yes.
Page 146.
No, I see it. Yes.
Yes, that's what it is. Where?
No, back.
Again back?
Yes. Back again.
Again back.
Yes,
Again
it's there.
back.
Yes,
Huh?
it's here. Yes, it's here.
No.
No, one time. Yes, that's 153.
It's here, 154?
153, teacher. One back. 153.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. We'll come over it, no problem.
Okay.
So, pilot cleared to land 07 right. Yeah, right with here. Runway 07, report right with. Okay. So, the pilot has to tell, no, sorry, the controller has to tell when the pattern changes from left to the right. And it has also to tell to the pilot when it comes back to the normal one, left base, until all pilots know about it. This is just to avoid complication. Operating in traffic pattern. Example, pilot, Bole, Papa Delta, right base, runway 07, right. Controller, Papa Delta, report final. Pilot, Papa Delta, final 07, right. Full stop. It's not a touch and go. You see, it's telling now, full stop. I'm not making touch and go. Controller, Papa Delta, wind 0708 knots. Clear to land, 07 right. Pilot, clear to land, 07 right, Papa Delta. This is the communication between the controller and the aircraft again. I want to bring it to your attention every now and then so that you don't assume yourself that you are in the cockpit or you are in the control tower or something else. No, you are the third person there after the controller and the pilot. You have to be there to witness what they are doing. Once you are a dispatcher, it's assumed that you know everything here, whatever we learned. If you don't remember, you come back to your manual and refer to it. You are a human being, you can forget anything. You have to come back and read it again. Final approach and landing. Approach is before landing. An aircraft approaches. مقرب ማለት ነው። እየቀረቡ መምጣት. Approaching is coming nearer to the airport. Approach, final approach. And landing. An aircraft approaches and then lands, of course. Number one, a final report is made when an aircraft turns onto final within 7 kilometers from touchdown. That's what it's telling you. You see? It's telling you the distance. When an aircraft turns onto final within 7 kilometers from touchdown. When an aircraft is away 7 kilometers away from the runway, it's called final. That is the position. Final, 7 kilometers. 7 kilometers for an aircraft is just nothing. For you, it means from here to Arat Kilo, maybe. It's just like that. For an aircraft, it's just nothing. 7 kilometers is very short. But in nautical miles, it's 4 nautical miles. There you see it in bracket. For our understanding, it's 7 kilometers out. When the turn, oh yes.
Sorry to disturb you. You said that when the aircraft is 7 kilometers away from the runway, is that at the time the aircraft releases the landing gear?
Well, it depends upon the that depends upon the structure of the aircraft.
Okay.
That is the duty of the pilot.
Yes.
Not me, not you.
Okay.
Not me, not you.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So, when the turn onto final is made at a greater distance, a long final report is made. When an aircraft is, it says, when the turn is made at a greater distance, supposing the aircraft is coming from Asmara, Not exactly Asmara. Asmara is straight runway 0. Oh, yes, okay. When a turn final mail is greater than 7 kilometers, it's called a long final. So a normal final is 7 kilometers. So a long final is more than 7 kilometers, naturally. It's not a big issue anyway. It's not a big issue. What is important is what an aircraft does and when. I am sure a pilot does not bring the gears down unless it's cleared by the control tower. It will not bring it down because it decreases speed. Drag يفترها. الذي cleared كالونا complication يفترها no. If the aircraft is making a straight-in approach, like the radar, now it's coming, like the radar. The radar, when an aircraft comes from the radar to Bole, can make a straight-in approach, runway 07, the runway 25. If the aircraft is making, if the case is so it says, if the aircraft is making a straight-in approach, a long final report is made at least 15 kilometers from touchdown. So long final is 15 kilometers. 15 kilometers is just nothing for an aircraft. It has speed. It's about 8 nautical miles. If no landing clearance is received at that time, a final report is made at 7 kilometers. If the tower did not give him the clearance when reaching the 15-kilometer mark, then another report is made at 7 kilometers. The aircraft has an equipment in the aircraft which measures distance, DME, distance measuring equipment. 100% perfect instrument. It's just for your rough information. Runway, you build a runway. It's a straight line. It has two directions. As I told you now, an aircraft coming from the radar is making a straight approach, straight-in approach. If the tower wants it, it will make it join the traffic pattern. If there are traffic conflicting, of course, downwind, they can final. But the aircraft is coming from the radar and there are no other traffic conflicting, so there is no problem. Okay, runway 25, runway 07. All runways are 180 degrees apart. 180 degrees. Nadir.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, north is 360 degrees, okay?
North is?
North is 360 degrees or 000.
Okay.
You didn't learn this? You didn't learn about
Navigation?
This is not necessarily navigation. We learn it in school, grade 8 or grade 9 or something like that. How many degrees does the globe? Globe.
360.
That is it. That's exactly what it is. 360 degrees is then compass. You know compass?
Yes, I know.
Direction finding instrument.
Yes, yes.
Compass. We have been using it. You put it in your pocket and then you buy it in the shop and every compass. Direction finding station.
Yes.
Instrument. If 360 degrees is north, south is how many degrees? Rosina.
180 degrees.
180 degrees, yes. 180. Rosina.
Yes.
Rosina, if west
Yes,
is,
yes, teacher.
okay, if west is 270 degrees, 270 degrees, how many degrees is east?
One, 3, 5.
Why?
Oh, no, teacher.
West is 270. East is, you subtract 180 degrees.
It is 90 degrees.
It's
Yeah,
90 degrees.
90 degree.
That's how a runway is made. I'm going to tell you about it. Supposing there are two runways, runway 07, and runway 09 and 27. I'm going to tell you a good example here, right here, about 270 degrees and 090 degrees. When you make a runway, it's a straight line, okay? We agree. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So if the other end of the runway is 270 degrees, if the other end of the runway is 270 degrees, if the western runway is 270 degrees, the other runway is how much? The opposite runway.
90 degrees. 90
It
degrees.
is 090 degrees, yes. Yes. Because it's a straight line. Runway is always a straight line. Runway could not be a zigzag. Otherwise, the aircraft would go out of the runway during takeoff or landing. A runway is always a straight line, meaning if one end is 07 degrees, the other end is 180 degrees apart. The opposite. Had I had the chance to show you on the board, I would have shown you and you would have understood better earlier. Anyway, when we start class, I will show you. Don't worry. No problem. It's just for your temporary understanding what runway looks like. I am sure you have seen in the film an aircraft taking off, an aircraft landing. You see in the film runway number is always 180 degrees. The difference is always 180 degrees because it's a straight line. Final approach and landing. A pilot may request to fly past the control tower or other observation point for the purpose of visual inspection from the ground. Who can explain this? Read it for yourself and then please call me when you are ready. Read it slowly with concentration. It's very, very simple.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I should try, I think. A pilot may request to fly past the control tower or other observation point for the purpose of visual inspection from the ground. I mean, like the pilot, he or she may offer across the control tower to look like how the ground, how it looks like the runway. To know exactly maybe if the for making like visual inspection or checking, I mean, about the runway. So and then the pilot it's gonna come back again for landing to start the landing in case maybe there is another aircraft on the runway or there is a water on the runway or it's not suitable for the aircraft, something like that. He may be checking for himself other than the control tower.
Rosina, Menelik, or any other student listening, please shoot. Yes? Okay. For your information, an aircraft might have a problem. Say, a landing gear problem. Landing gear problem means the indication. When an aircraft comes for landing, it usually stretches its landing gear and the pilot can see 3 greens there in the cockpit. He cannot see the gear. He cannot, he is the pilot, how can he see? He only observes the light signal in the cockpit if the 3 greens are on green mark, meaning left gear, right gear, and the nose gear. That's the 3 greens. Usually, when a pilot comes for landing, he stretches his landing gear and checks these lights, the 3 greens, if they are there. If one of them indicate red or coffee color or something, that means there is something, there is a problem. And so what the aircraft does is advise the control tower to advise his company on ground to come to the control tower and observe the gear, because the pilot will make a very close short path over the control tower or above the control tower or in front of the control tower as close as possible for any person on the ground to observe the gear. If they are down and locked, unless the gears are locked, it will have a problem during landing. It could be an indication problem in the aircraft because of the instrument. The gears might be normal, but there is an indication problem. So the pilot suspected, ጠረጠረ ጊሩ ሊታጠፍ ይችላል ሳርፍ ሊታጠፍ ይችላል that means the gear may collapse during landing. So he wants to make clear that any foreman from maintenance, from Ethiopian Airlines example, will come to the control tower and observe the aircraft flying past the control tower in a very slow speed, so that the person assigned for this will check if the gears are down and locked. That the pilot may request to fly past the control tower or other observation point for the purpose of visual inspection from the ground. That's one example. It could be the gear, it could be the radar, it could be the flaps, it could be the aileron, anything which needs observation. Rosie, ገብቶሻል?
Yes, teacher. አሁን clear ነው።
Nadir, I'll explain to you later in English. Let me explain in American. The majority might have not understood. አንድ አውሮፕላን ሲመጣ ጊር መዘርጋት አለበት። ዳውን ኤንድ ሎክድ መሆኑን እዛ ግሪን ላይት ያሳየዋል ኮክፒት ውስጥ። the three greens are okay እና ያርፋል። ግን በአሁኑ ጊዜ ሊያርፍ ሲመጣ አንድ የሆነ ኢንዲኬሽን አየ፣ ደስ አላለው። ስለዚህ ለታወሩ ነገረ፣ ታወሩ ለኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገድ ነገረው። ኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገድ መካኒክ መጣ፣ ታወሩ ላይ ቁጭ አለና ያያል። ሳልፍ ሎ ፓስ ያደርጋል፣ ጊሩን ይዘረጋል እና ሎክድ መሆኑን ያይለታል። ቶሎ ብሎ ሎኪንጉን ነው የሚያው። አሁን ሎክድ ሆኗል፣ ኢንዲኬሽን ፕሮብሌም ነው ብሎ ካለው መጥቶ ያርፋል ማለት ነው። ትልቅ ኃላፊነት ነው ባይዘው። this is the whole story. ገብቶሻል ወዚህ?
ክሊር ነው።
that's what it is። ግን አረፍተ ነገሩ አይገልጽልሽም። ለዚህ ነው አስተማሪ የተፈለገው። ኤግዛምፕል መኖር አለበት። So Nadir,
Yes,
it's exactly what I told you. If the pilot suspects that the indication is wrong, so somebody is called from the hangar, will come to the control tower, will observe the aircraft flying past the control tower at a low speed, at a low level, whether the gears are down and locked. That's the most important thing, locked. Unless the gears are locked, they will collapse on landing. So the person who has a big responsibility to save lives of passengers advises the pilot that the gears are down and locked. It's only indication problem. So the pilot comes, gets his clearance from the control tower, comes and lands. But fire brigade will be ready there. Now the dispatcher has a share here. the dispatcher has to initiate a call to the control tower. እሳት አደጋ ይዘጋጅልን ብሎ መናገር አለበት። አሁን ነው ዲስፓቸር ስራው እንግዲህ most important እሳት አደጋ መኖር አለ። ድንገት ሰው ነውና ተሳስቶ ከሆነ አውሮፕላን ኮላፕስ ሲያደርግ እሳት ሊያዝ ስለሚችል ወደ ያጠፉታል። እሳት አደጋ ከሌለ ግን ውጤቱ መራራ ነው። ሁለተኛ for training purposes a pilot may request permission to make an approach along or parallel to the runway without landing. Menelik, who can explain this? Even though I cannot see you.
He's not here.
Okay. Rosie, can you explain? Number 2.
Okay.
You will also exercise a good English because discussion, you should be courageous enough to exercise. It does not matter. If there is grammar mistake, we'll correct it together. You have to have the courage.
When we come to the training purpose, the
Yeah.
pilot should request a permission to make an approach or to be parallel into the runway without landing.
Yeah, I think
You will ask a permission to make an approach.
Yeah, it's already self-explanatory, you know.
Land.
That's why. Already በደንብ ገልጾታል። ለዚህ ነው መግለጽ ያላስፈልግ። It's already self-explained.
But teacher,
Yes.
yeah, maybe for at this time it's training, yeah. Maybe the pilot wants to check if he can fly near the air traffic controller, isn't it? Before he does the big job, maybe he wants to check if he can fly near the air traffic controller. I thought like that.
No, it said it has already explained for training purposes. It says for training purposes. There is an instructor pilot with this training.
Okay.
There are two. One is a student. One is Nadir. The other one is Shatu.
Okay.
So Nadir wants to make a training permission. He wants to request permission to make an approach along or parallel to the runway without landing. No landing. This is for training. How close it is, how to control the aircraft.
Okay.
The instructor wants to see.
Okay.
Very simple.
Yes.
Final approach and landing. There it's coming now. For the purpose, for the low pass is, if the low pass is made for the purpose of observing the undercarriage. Undercarriage ማለት ሆድቃው ማለት ነው። ሆድቃ, the stomach of the aircraft. The belly of the aircraft, undercarriage. The underside of the aircraft is called undercarriage. The same thing. Okay. Who can explain this? Very simple. Undercarriage is your problem. Undercarriage I have explained. የአውሮፕላኑ ሆድቃ ከውስጥ በኩል ያለው ማለት ነው። ከላይ ያለ ሆድቃ አለ። ሆድቃው the belly of the aircraft. The lower side of the aircraft.
Yeah, teacher.
Yeah.
I think it's clear. Like before, it says like when the pilot starts the low pass by low level, showing the air traffic controller or ground handlers to look his landing gears on the undercarriage. So when those ground operators or flight dispatchers so what is on the landing gear, they may define for the coming four conditions. One of them says like landing gear appears down, which means uh, they are they are safe, means locked, I think. And the other one it is right or left or nose wheels appears up or down. We know that it can be have like you said before, right side for wheel or left or nose, yeah, for the wheels. One
Yeah.
of them it's up and the other is down. So means maybe they are one of them is safe and the other one is not safe. And the other one it is wheels appears up. That means they are not locked. They are not down. So it's absolutely unsafe. The last one it's saying like wheel does not appear up or down. In this condition, they are not clear either for up or down. So maybe they are in the middle position, even though this is unsafe. So they will send such kind of information to the pilot back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most important. The most important thing is here is, as I see, nobody dares to say right or left wheel or gear is up. Nobody will say that is down. No, it's they always use the word appear. They say appear or seems. Nobody will say is down and locked. Sorry, gentlemen. Nobody. ማንም ሰው ይመስላል ነው እንጂ የሚለው ነው አይልም። ምክንያቱም በጣም አስቸጋሪ ነው። Nobody takes the responsibility to use the word is. To use the word is. The gear is down. The wheel is down. Or the nose, the gear is down and low. Nobody will apply. They always apply the word appears, seems. ምክንያቱም በጣም አስቸጋሪ ነው። ኃላፊነቱን እንዴት አድርጎ ይወሰዳል? በዛ በአውሮፕላን ስፒድ የአሁኑ ሰውነት ይዞ ሲሄድ እንደገና የሰው አይን ግራ ያጋባል። እርግጠኛ ደግሞ ሎክድ ለመሆኑ ፒኗ ያቺ ሎክ የምታደርገው ፒን አለች። እሷን ለማየት ዳውን ኤንድ ሎክድ ለማለት በጣም አስቸጋሪ ነው። ስለዚህ appears to be down and locked, appears to be always they always use appear. So here as I can understand the difference between gear and wheel. The gear is the whole set, the left, the right, and the nose. That's what the system, the whole system is called a gear. That's what I can understand from the sentence. The landing gear appears, seems down. When it is separate, when it's separately discussed, they say the right wheel, the left wheel, the nose wheel. You see that? That's what I can understand, even though I'm not 100% right. It's not a big issue anyway. It's not a big issue. We can ask any mechanic, any maintenance person, he will let us know the difference. It's not a problem. You can take a note anyway. What's the difference between gear and wheel? Or you can refer to a dictionary. The dictionary will tell you. These days, you go to the PC and it will tell you everything. No problem. But for our understanding of the class, temporarily, that's what it is. Final approach and landing. Example. Okay, Nadir, can you read for us?
Okay, teacher. Final
Example.
approach and landing. Example, pilot, fast air, 345, long, final, controller, fast air, 345, continue approach, wind, 260 degrees, 18, notice. Pilot, fast air, 345, pilot again, fast air, 345, final, controller, fast air, 345, cleared to land, runway 27, wind 270 degree, /20 notice. Pilot, runway 27, cleared to land, fast air 3455.
There is nothing new actually.
His guiding for landing, yeah, teacher.
Huh?
His controller is guiding for landing, the pilot, for final landing.
Yeah, first said 345. 345 long final, he said. Then the pilot said, first said 345. Pilot again said, first said 345 final. I think the tower did not hear him, the controller did not hear him. So he repeated the same message.
Or maybe teacher, one of them, he said long final. That means he was far away from the controller. Maybe we can say 15 kilometers, 15 kilometers away. And after that, he said final alone,
Which is 7 kilometers.
which is 7 kilometers.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. That's what it is. It seems like that. Anyway, this is a communication between the two units, the control tower, the controller, and the pilot. So we are here as dispatchers to understand the terms. What is wind? 260 degree 18. How much is it? What is the maximum wind allowed for headwind, for tailwind? What is the maximum crosswind allowed for your aircraft, for the kind of aircraft you have? In our case, I think tailwind is 10 knots, the maximum tailwind for National Airways. The maximum tailwind is 10 knots. And the crosswind is around 25 knots or 30 knots. If it is more than that, the wind has to cool down. The wind speed has to come down, and until then, the aircraft has to hold in the air. There is a limitation. We'll come across it when we start about air traffic control service. Don't worry.
We need, yeah, one time, please clarify. You said like National Airways, it has wind for 10 knots. Yeah?
Yeah, our aircraft.
Yeah, Yeah. So that
Maximum.
means maximum more than 10, maybe 12, it can't go. The aircraft, it's a problem for. Yeah.
If it is more than 10 knots for final landing, it will not land. It will land the opposite, the other
Okay.
runway. It will use the other runway.
Okay.
Supposing, as I told you, runway 07, runway 09, if there is a tailwind of 10 knots, why not use runway 27, which is a headwind of 10 knots, advantageous. So request the control tower to use runway 27. Use runway 27 is headwind. Final approach and landing. Example. Rosina,
Yes, teacher.
would you mind reading, please?
Okay. Pilot.
Page 85. Okay.
Okay. Pilot, fast air, 345, request, low pass, unsafe lift, gear indication. Controller, fast air, 345, cleared, low pass, runway, 27, not below 500 feet. Report final. Pilot, runway, 27, not below 500 feet, fast air, 345.
Yeah. Okay. So the pilot, fast air 345, request low pass, unsafe left gear indication. There is an indication in the aircraft, as I told you. If everything is safe, it will show them 3 greens. So no, when the pilot checked the lighting system, he saw something doubtful, and he told the control tower, unsafe left gear indication. The left gear indication, I am suspecting. So the controller said, anyway, okay, fast air 345, cleared low pass, runway 27, not below 500 feet. Do not descend below 500 feet above the ground. Maybe there is an antenna, or there are buildings around. There could be anything. The tower has something to see. He has something in his hand for evidence. So do not go below 500 feet above the ground. And the pilot acknowledged, fast air 345, Roger, not below 500 feet. Final approach and landing. Example. Pilot, fast air 345, request low approach, runway 09 for training. It says, it's specifying for training. So there is a pilot instructor and a pilot trainee in the aircraft. They are two there. Maybe there is an observer behind if it is a big aircraft. Fast air 345 request low approach, runway 09 for training. When I approach the runway, I will come low as possible. Am I permitted to do so? That's what the pilot is saying. The controller. Fast air 345 cleared low pass. What? Look. No. Fast air 345 requested low approach. He said low approach, not low pass. The controller assumed it's a low pass. It's a 345 cleared low pass. Runway 09, not below 200. You see? You see the misunderstanding, Nadir?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. The pilot requested low approach,
Yes.
not low pass. It's an approach. Approach and low pass are two different things. Approach is coming for landing. Low pass is not coming for landing. It's a low pass to show the landing gear if it is down and locked. You see the mistakes there?
Yes, yes.
It's wrong. It's not a low pass. Low approach and low pass are two different things. Fast air 345 should have advised the control tower that he is making low approach, not a low pass. Because the control tower is now arranging the whole area, traffic pattern, so that there could not be any other aircraft when this aircraft makes a low pass. If it is a low approach, there is no problem. There is only one aircraft in one line. He's coming for landing. Low pass means he will touch every area around. So he's not, the pilot is not a careful pilot. Running 09 knows below 200 feet. He read only 250 feet. But he didn't read whether it's the low pass or low approach. This is a mess. Had it been in London or Frankfurt, busy airports, they will not give you the chance. That's why they read back, always they read back. Any kind of clearance, read back. It's very important. Please mark it, Nadir, Rodina. Mark the two things there with your pencil or pen.
Low approach and low pass.
Yeah, they are two different things. Just for your training. You have to act like a good pilot, not a lousy pilot. Final approach and landing. Yes, Nadir, in order.
Yes, teacher. Should I read or try?
Yeah, read.
Okay.
So that other students can also hear you.
Okay. In order to save taxing time when training in the traffic circuit, pilots may request to carry out a touch and go. Example, the aircraft lands, continuous rolling and takeoff without stopping. Example, pilot, Golf Charlie Delta, request touch and go. Controller, Golf Charlie Delta, cleared touch and go. Pilot, cleared touch and go. Golf Charlie Delta.
Yeah. What do you understand? In order.
Yeah. That means I think teacher, in order to save the time of taxing, uh, when the training the pilot is made should ask all the permissions before it starts taxing. Otherwise, it may take a time to do all the taxing things and communicate with him. So he may does all the communication at one time, and he may not stop when the aircraft landing, continuous rolling, and takeoff. All that three processes, he may not need to communicate the controller. He does only at one time the communication.
Yeah, that's the whole story. That's the whole story. If the aircraft after landing goes to the terminal, then he will ask another permission,
Yes.
which takes time to taxi, to start engine, to taxi out, and all the like. So to avoid this, the pilots will make touch and go. Nabil, for your exam, for your information, it's explaining to you what touch and go is. That is, the aircraft lands,
Yes.
continues rolling,
And
and take off without stopping. That is touch and go.
but another communication.
Yeah, that is. That is. The aircraft lands. What is the touch and go? Touch and go is the aircraft lands, continues rolling, and then takes off without stopping. That is the definition of touch and go. Did you understand, Nadir?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Final approach and landing example. So, Rodina, what is the pilot rejecting now or approving? The controller.
Yes, teacher.
What did you understand? C, the controller.
The pilot requests to touch and go,
Okay.
but the controller say unable to approve due to
Yeah.
traffic. I think
Yeah.
there is a traffic congression, so it didn't approve it to touch and go.
Yeah.
So they make full stop, which means
Yeah.
make full land stop there.
Yeah. No touch and go. Make full stop landing.
Clear.
It's not, meaning it's not always approved. It's sometimes disapproved. And the controller rejects. So what it does is unable to approve the touch and go, clear to land, and make full stop landing. That's it. Very simple. Golf shall Delta make another circuit report. Downwind. It's normal. Downwind, bed leg final. Downwind, bed leg final. Downwind, bed leg. That is the traffic pattern. We'll come to air traffic control, by the way. This is communication class. Rosina,
Yeah. Okay.
this is only communication class. You are not supposed to know everything we learned here. This is communication class. Because there are many things here which we will learn later on in air traffic control management. Don't worry. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Yeah. Final approach and landing. Go around. Now it's coming. Go around means do not land. go around. Clear to land is clear to land. Clear touch and go is clear touch and go. Go around, do not land. Aircraft is on final, but is not allowed to land. Go around. Maybe there is a car crossing the runway. Maybe there is hyena in the runway. Maybe there is a fire brigade truck in the runway. Maybe there are a flock of birds in the runway. Go around. Okay, read, Nadir. Instructions.
Yes, teacher. Go around. Instructions to carry out a method approach may be given to avert an unsafe situation. When a method approach is initiated, cockpit workload is inevitably high, and transmissions to aircraft going around should be brief and kept to a minimum.
What page is that?
Page 163. teacher.
Huh?
The page number?
163.
Yes, 163.
So you have understood everything? Instructions to carry out a missed approach. You come for landing, you cannot land, so you make a missed approach. Due to weather also, you make a missed approach. Due to heavy birds on the runway, you make a missed approach. Due to low ceiling, you make a missed approach. Heavy truck in the runway, you make a missed approach. So may be given to avert, to prevent an unsafe situation. When a missed approach is initiated, cockpit, there should have been a comma there. When a missed approach is initiated, comma, cockpit workload is inevitably high. That means an aircraft is long final, short final, is coming for landing. Now you tell the pilot, go around. Now the pilot came for landing. He was preparing the speed, the flaps, the gear, everything. Now suddenly told him, go around. So he says the second sentence. When a missed approach is initiated, cockpit workload is inevitably high. That will make both the pilot, both the captain and the co-pilot very, very, very busy. When a pilot is ready to land, final approach, and the control tower told him, for the sake of safety, go around, the two pilots are very, very, very busy preparing, pulling out the gear, adjusting the speed, the flaps, the aileron, the rudder, everything there. They are very, very busy. That's what it's telling you. So you have to have, as a dispatcher, this thing in your brain. Any transmissions to aircraft going around should be brief and kept to a minimum. When a controller or the control tower transmits to aircraft to go around, it has to be brief and kept to a minimum. It has to be short. It's not a long, مدرك የለበትም አጠር ጉምድ በቃ እንዳተርፍ pull up, finished. Do not land, pull up. It has to be short and brief. Page 163. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 o'clock.
Yes, teacher.
If you have any question, I can stay.
No, clear.
No question.
በትምህርት ከፍ ብሎ መብረር ይቻላል። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ከከፍተኛ ትምህርት አግባብነትና ጥራት ኤጀንሲ ሙሉ ዕውቅናን ባገኘንባቸው በማስተርስ ዲግሪ ኤምቢኤ በስትራቴጂክ ማኔጅመንት፣ ኤምቢኤ በባንኪንግ እና ፋይናንስ፣ ኤምቢኤ በቢዝነስ ሊደርሺፕ፣ ኤምቢኤ በሪስክና ኢንሹራንስ፣ ኤምኤስሲ በኢንተርናሽናል ትሬድ እና ኢኮኖሚክስ ዘርፎች በእውቀት ለመቅረጽ የበቁ ፕሮፌሰሮቻችን አረንጓዴ መብራታቸውን አብርተዋል። በነገራችን ላይ በኬንያ ሀገር ከሚገኙ ስመጥር ዩኒቨርሲቲዎች በሚመጡ ፕሮፌሰሮች የትኩረት መስክ ትምህርቶቹ መሰጠታቸው ልዩ ያደርገናል። በምርጥ የትምህርት ስርዓት የተገነባው ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ በመጀመሪያ ዲግሪ በአቪዬሽን ማኔጅመንት፣ በሆቴል ማኔጅመንት፣ በአካውንቲንግ እና ፋይናንስ፣ በማርኬቲንግ ማኔጅመንት አስተማማኝ ትምህርት ይገቢውና ራስዎንና ሀገሮን ይለውጡ። አድራሻ 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።